Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Flipside at Grace Bible.Church. I've got Ryan Levis.
Melanie, so good to be with you.
It's so good to be sitting here with you. Gave a phenomenal message. We're continuing in the book of Ruth.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So I also failed to mention all the folks attending online at the top of the service. Welcome. So to you folks out there attending online, we see you, we love you, and we love to engage with you, right?
You know who you are. We do this Flipside basically just for you.
Just for you.
And those people who, see when we post it later in the week and all that kind of stuff. But
that's good.
Yeah, love your questions. Love to engage with you.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. We've got 2 questions so far, and I'm going to keep the chat open to see if there are any more that trickle in. The first question is, I don't see any providence in my life, just the bad. How can I trust God or recognize his providence when it seems all I see is the struggle and none of his blessing?
It's really hard, and I think one of the ways I just want to say good job, like admitting where you're at. I think just even like being, not just feeling that and being able to name it, but also like putting it in a chat and saying, hey, I want help with this. Hey, I'm humble enough to say, I may not be seeing things clearly. That heart to not stay alone and stay in the despair itself, like is, in my mind, a little ray of light, in the midst of what seems like 110% dark and scary and hard. So I think there are probably ways that anyone could be encouraged to see the goodness of God in their situation. This is probably not even close to what you are going through, but I was stressed about our housing situation. My wife and I, we were in an apartment. We weren't liking the apartment. We felt frustrated. What do we do? Our lease goes till January. How do we figure this out? I was stressed. I asked someone to pray for me about it. And in the prayer, he said, Lord, help Ryan and Emily find where they need to be, but help him to know and be thankful for the apartment they have. Help them to know and be thankful for they have a place to stay. They have, and he just helped me. Oh yeah, I'm stressed about this thing, but God has been good in all these different ways, and I have so much to be grateful for. And I know that can feel like a trite answer, but I'd encourage you to ask some people, how do you see God's blessing in my life? I don't feel it. I don't see it. And sometimes I have struggled with depression and anxiety at different points in life, and my dad is one of my biggest mentors and biggest helps in those moments. And I'll call him, and I'll be like, man, I feel like I'm spiraling. Nothing is going well. Nothing is good. How do I? And he'll point out to me that my thought process in the midst of depression is actually not trustful, is not truthful. And I can't trust sometimes my own perception of reality, which is terrifying to think about, right? I want to be able to trust my own instincts and my own intuition about reality, but he's often encouraged me, you can't think your way out of depression, Ryan. You have to move your way out.
Ooh.
And so steps of decision, steps of initiating, like asking a question on the flip side, what have you. You're already doing so much that I think is going to move you to where you need to be and where God can shine more and more of his light. But it's really hard in the waiting, and it's really hard. I'm sure that trip from Moab to Israel was pretty dark and bleak. But maybe, just maybe, on the other side, like for Ruth and Naomi, there's some light for you as well.
Yeah. You mentioned several things in that one, recognizing just vocalizing and putting it out there, the question itself. You also mentioned community in there. I mean, oftentimes I can think of a time where the struggle was real for a long time, and it was our community of a community group who encouraged me to vocalize that to God. The struggle, the why am I here? Why are you doing this? But he wants relationship with us, and that means he wants all of us, right? Even in the time where it's hard. And for some reason that helped me. It helped me to know that I didn't have to mask that or to hide that I could share that. I don't know. Is that applicable here?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So, thank you, Melanie.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to feel like everything's okay.
Of course.
Yeah. Right.
Of course not.
Yeah. I like that. What'd you say? I can't think through this, but I have to move.
I can't think my way out of depression. I have to
good.
move my way out. That has saved my life a couple times.
I've never heard that. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think he was saying it for me because I just tend to overthink things, but I think it can help some others.
I know nothing about overthinking. Okay. Kidding. All right, we've got a second question. This one is kind of about today and the season that we're in.
Okay.
Why does Grace, and I think they mean Grace Bible.Church, promote pagan practices on Sundays? Do we need to have a costume party or trunk or treat? Because today we have mega awesome costume party in our kids and students ministry, and we are hosting a trunk or treat this afternoon at all 3 campuses. So it's a great question. Thanks for asking it.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I think obviously referring to the larger thing happening this weekend, which is Halloween, which our culture embraces and celebrates. And I know different people in our church feel differently about the origins of this holiday, what it means. Is it just a fun time for families to dress up, get some candy for some kids? I know growing up, my family celebrated Halloween. It never felt like a dark, sinister pagan thing for me, but it could be.
Yeah, sure.
And I think it could have some influences that are less than godly. And so I encourage people to be thoughtful. It sounds like you've been really thoughtful about this. It's one of the reasons why we've tried to provide a little bit of an alternative for families this year with the trunk or treat.
Yeah.
Trunk or treat's a time for just families to get together.
Yeah.
No tricks.
No.
Just candy, fun, love. And I think God honors that. God loves candy. I think God loves when we have fun and dress up like our favorite princess or what have you, and we celebrate and we have a party. And I know I'm going to trunk or treat later.
I am as well. You know, I will say too, this is probably less on the principle or like biblical ties to it. But last year I was driving around this time of year, and I recognized every church that I drove by had some sort of event for families. And I was like, oh my goodness,
I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah, we missed the boat. Like, how did I not? I mean, I remember like writing it down in my book of thoughts. And then this year we're doing what we're doing. And I think what helped me is recently Orange, and Orange is Rethink.org, and they write our curriculum, and we use their curriculum. They just released a research study about families. And they were studying both Christian and non-Christian families to go, what do parents need and want that we don't know and they're not telling us? Like, how as a church can we truly partner with families, partner with parents in a more meaningful way? What are they dealing with in their day-to-day lives? And so one of the aspects that both parents, Christian and non-Christian parents alike, wanted or were looking for was the church to provide family experiences, experiences where they could bring their kids and the whole family could do something together, which is why we do a jingle jam for elementary age families, right? While we're doing an Easter jam, while we do Summer's Best Week, but while we are trying to create more family events where parents and kids can come to the church. It's also a great accessible point for people who maybe don't go to church. Will come and visit, check us out, and see what the community is like. If they can, it's an easy access point, right? An easy walking in. If I haven't been to church before, maybe I have church hurt. It's an easy way kind of like in the church to feel what it's like. And I don't know if that's a helpful answer to you asking that question, but that's my heart about it.
Ultimately, the question I think comes down to, and I appreciate that, because I think our heart really as a church is to be a bridge between the community and God's grace.
Yeah.
And so I think some of these experiences can do that. And really, the question comes down to, how do you engage with culture as the church? How do you engage with the wider world? And there's two extremes that we could have, right? We could just promote pagan practices, like you said. We could just drink it all in and spit it back out and have our people just look exactly like the rest of the world because we have the same values, we have the same gods that we worship, what have you. Or we could completely disengage and say, this is all pagan, this is all influenced by Satan, or whatever. It's all darkness, it's all empty, it's all nothing, and so we're going to hang back in our little holy huddle and really have no way of interacting with that part. And so every church, I think every community of faith has to figure out where's this line, and obviously it's always moving, we're always trying to figure out. And so I think in our minds as a church, I think having a Sunday where our kids and students can like dress up and have some fun on a weekend where our culture is celebrating in that way is one that could promote some joy and promote some community, and also could be recognized by someone who's new and say, oh wow, these people are normal and have fun maybe I could see myself here.
Yeah. My
So-
daughter was at 4:30 a.m. wanting to come to church. She was like coughing, hacking. I was like, you're not going. Like, you're not going to hack all over everybody. But she's like,
But if
but I want to go to trunk or treat at my
5-year-old,
church.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I want to go to church and I want to go in the morning and I want to go in the afternoon and we have events. She's so excited. Just to see that excitement in her eye. I'm excited for her. And she knows Jesus is there, which is exciting. So, hey, so hopefully we answer those 2 questions well.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We will find out.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for being with us yesterday, too. We were at the Norfolk campus where we had baby dedication. We dedicated 8 babies. We had 7 families.
It was really fun.
That was
It's
a
so
sweet
well
event.
done. If you are like, I don't know if I really want to be a part of a baby dedication, like you should just volunteer for it because
If you're having a bad day,
if you're having a
come
bad
to baby
day,
dedication.
come to baby dedication. Even though there's young ones screaming and all sorts of stuff, there's amazing slides and videos, and it's just really meaningful.
Donut holes, grapes.
grapes,
treats,
water,
encouraging words. Hey, thanks for the word today.
Yeah.
Thank you out there for sending in your questions. We hope you have an awesome week, and we'll see you next week on the flip side.
Bye, guys.